survival and demise. After talking to Chris, and I have tailored my presentation in 3 different sections. First, I'll talk about some of the business environment, some of the statistics, research numbers, the issues that our businesses in this area face, along with some of the natural issues. Then I want to share my story, how I started my business and sold my business last year after 26 years of business. And then I'm going to share some of the traits that helped me to be able to exit my business on my own terms. And some of the lessons that I learned. As a sport counselor, everybody familiar with sport? Okay. So I've been a sport counselor for 12 plus years, but after I sold my business, I was able to do more time. I was able to counsel in the past in the evenings, but now I can do the daytime as well. So as a sport counselor, and having run my successful business for 26 years, I think I'm here to share some ideas, some things that I've learned over the years. And again, it's going to be dialogue. Let's exchange information, ask questions, let's learn from each other and have some fun. So, being a sales and marketing guy, I'm going to talk about the numbers first because I'm going to get that out of the way. That's not my thing. I like more stories and real life situations. So first I'm going to bring you 4 different research that I found that's applicable to this group. First, by Cleveland.com, they did a research earlier this month. According to them, inflation is one of the most significant issues that businesses in all are facing. Inflation has eased quite a bit, as we know. It used to be over 9%, now it's down 3.7 and 4.1, depending on the numbers you look at. And the 3 main issues of high inflation are high energy cost, a tightening labor market that brought in increased wages, and interruption in the supply chain. That's by Cleveland.com. Second, about 2 weeks back, Mr. Jerome Powell, the chairman of Federal Reserve Bank, and Mr. Kevin Schreiber, CEO of the York County Economic Alliance in York, Pennsylvania, they went from business to business. They physically were on the road talking to businesses. And I remember hearing Jerome Powell in the news a few months back. Before he makes his decisions, he looks at the numbers obviously, but then he says he also talks to business owners personally. So when they both went and they talked to businesses, there were 5 issues that were brought to them as that are the factors of small business. Number 1, again, was inflation. Because of inflation, the small business is not able to secure supplies and profits. Number 2, high interest rates. Again, because of high interest rates, they are not able to apply for loans. They are, a lot of time, they pay with their credit cards, and that's making it hard for them. Number 3, labor shortages. Number 4, no predictability. And that's one of the issues, is a big one. Because as you heard in the news, nobody knows if Jerome Powell is going to bring the interest rates down or how long he's going to keep the interest rates high. Because of the non-predictability, small business owners, it's hard to plan. It's just hard for them to plan their future, how much investment they should make, or if they should make that investment. 5th, lack of childcare. It's lack of childcare that keeps a lot of business professionals home. And Mr. Schreiber confirmed that before COVID-19, there were 219 childcare centers in his area. After COVID-19, it's reduced to 170. Out of 170, he said most of them are struggling and they're not even open for people. So that was the research that came about to both. Next is by Bank of America. 2 weeks back, they produced a report, and this time this report is focused on minority-owned businesses and women-owned businesses. The top 5 issues that Bank of America identified: 1, again, inflation. Number 2, prices. Number 3, interest rates. Number 4, cost of healthcare. And number 5, social and racial inequalities. And this group, the minorities and women-owned businesses, a lot of, in my client base through SCORE, I see a lot of this group. I would say 80% of my clients belong in this group. And lastly, I'm going to read a quote from Wall Street Journal. This was published on October 1. They said, small business bankruptcy filings are rising this year, a signal that increased interest rates, tighter lending standards, and higher operating costs are straining entrepreneurs. So what does all this mean to us as counselors and mentors? That means we need to be a little bit more empathetic to our clients' needs, understand their situations, and again, especially minority-owned and women-owned businesses. A lot of them are facing this high interest rate environment. They're having a lot of problem finding good labor. It's very hard for them to keep talent. I have a friend who owns 2 restaurants. He tells me that when he puts an ad out looking for some help, if he invites 20 people for an interview, only 10 would accept it. Out of 10, only 5 would show up for the interview. If you offer a job to 3, maybe only 1 person would accept it. That's how bad it is. Next, let's talk about my story. I moved to Ohio back in March of '91. After getting my master's in marketing, I came here working for a printing company as sales and marketing manager. When I started working there, it was a franchise. So there were total 60 franchises in the country. They were number 40. In 5 years, from '91 to '96, our business grew and we were number 1 in the country. Things happened, some disagreement between the management. I lost my job in May of '96. That was a very tough situation for us because my wife wasn't working. My not working means no income. With a job loss, I lost my company car. So there was no more transportation. On top of that, my wife was pregnant with our first child due in August of that year. What made a bad situation worse when I realized, oh my gosh, I won't have any health insurance. I mean, we know children are expensive, babies are expensive. On top of that, you don't have any health insurance. So that time, I had a decision to make. If I was going to go back in the workforce, look for a stable income and steady income, or fulfill my lifelong dream of starting a business. After a lot of consultation with my wife and family, I decided to start my business. So under those circumstances, my back is against the wall. I started my business on October 1, 1996. After a few months, my wife started working at her master's is in finance and accounting, so she started working for an accounting firm as a junior accountant. So things started improving, and obviously she was the one paying all the bills, handling all the finances of our household because I wasn't making any money. In '99, our second child was born, my son was born, and my business started taking off a little bit, started making some money. Then in 2000, my wife comes up to me and said, it's getting a little bit tough for her to handle everything because she was the one working full time, taking care of the children, and taking care of the household responsibility because I was just so busy in business. So she said she would like to quit her job and stay home to take care of the children. That's something I was not ready for. My business was just starting to take off a little bit, starting to make a little bit money, and now this is the situation. So I said, okay, let's not rush into it. Let's just think about it. And I said, before we move on, I want to share something with you. I have been working on a plan, which I said, here's a copy of the plan. I said, I don't want you to read it right now. Just read and get back to me in a couple of weeks. This plan will require a lot of hard work, even harder work than we have to put in, a lot of sacrifice. But the results will be tremendous. So after 2 weeks, she comes back, she agrees to go with the plan. And the plan was, that was in 2000. So I was, what, 20, and I was 30 years old, 31. And my plan was that time, that between the age of 50 and 55, we should be financially independent if things work the way I planned in the plan that I wrote. Fast forward to 2018, 5 years back. We were sitting in the office. I went to my wife's office. I said, I think we have reached our goal. I said, this is the plan that we wrote. I think at this point in our life, and I was 49, I said, I think we reached our goal, and it's up to us now, whether we want to keep working or exit. So in a few weeks, we decided that yes, we're going to exit. So we planned for a few months, got all the financials and all the paperwork, everything ready for the sale of the business. By 2019, in September 2019, we hired a broker, did everything for the business for sale. Then, as we all know what happened in 2020, COVID hit. So everything was at a standstill. Nothing was happening, nothing was moving. Then in September 2021, we're like, okay. Again, not having bought or sold a company in the past, my thinking was, in fall we put the business for sale, it takes 2, 3, 4 months, by December we should be out, January new company takes over. It doesn't work that way. So in September we put the business for sale, on March 1, we closed the deal. So March 1 last year, we exited our business. So that was the result of our planning over the last, basically, 20-year plan that we made. So what do we do after that? After selling the business, I started my company, Aging Consulting USA. And in this business, I was speaking and writing and coaching, mentoring, training small businesses. I always had a fascination with writing. So a lot of my articles were published in the past. So some of these publications are our industry publications. And my articles were published in 2009, 2011, 2010. And here's I was on the cover page of NEO magazine, the Inside Business. So I contacted the editor of these magazines, like CJ. You remember I used to write for you in 2009 and 10. I said, now I started my business, so I would love to write for you. The only difference is that then it was a volunteer. Now I'm going to get paid for it. So based on the way I used to write, he said, okay, no, come on board. So I have been writing for this publication, and we have a 12-month contract. So I write 1 article a month. So far, there have been 3 articles published, and I will leave this copy here, or I can pass them around. So I have 2 publications that I write for. I'll pass. Why don't you just pass it around and just take one set? Yeah. So I have this 2 publications that I write for, and if anybody wants to be on the email list, then I can forward the future articles, and even these I can email if you're interested. So I started my business and started writing, and then I contacted SCORE, saying, hey, I want to come back. I want to do some more mentoring, almost full-time now for you. Because SCORE was there for me when I started my business back in '96. So So I told them that this is my way of giving back to the business community because you were there to help me when I needed the help. So that brings me to the next part of the presentation where I'm going to talk about the lessons that I learned. And we as mentors, we have years and years of experience. And that's something we share with our clients. And like I said earlier, a lot of businesses fail, and that's really disheartening. And I recently read, according to US labor statistics, 90% of businesses don't make it. They fail. And I'm like, that is really sad. It really breaks your heart when you see that. So that's what keeps me going when I have a client at SCORE and I can make a difference in their life. I can give them some idea to hopefully keep their business going. Now, the way when I give talks, my style is I don't bore with numbers and charts. I share stories, real situations. Because I learn by stories, and I think we can connect better when we share real life stories. So I'm going to share with you 7 lessons that I learned over the years. Number 1, focus on the bottom line. As simple and as common sense it sounds, I found a lot of businesses don't do that. Because the fact of the matter is, every business owner will one day exit from the business. That's a fact. The only difference is, are you able to exit on your own terms, or you are forced by circumstances, whether it's health issues, family issues, death, divorce, business issues, or pandemic like COVID. When I had my business, I was never afraid to walk away from a deal if I can make any money. And that's something when I say, it's not sounding cocky, it's just that's a fact. And I had employees who would say, oh, it's okay if we don't make any money on this deal, we made money on the other 4 deals. I don't work that way. According to me, every deal, every unit, every location, every division of a company needs to make money. I have some situations where companies say, oh, we have 4 divisions. If 4 are making money, 1 is not, it's okay. Overall, you're making money. I don't buy into that. A lot of people say, oh, volume will make up the difference. I don't buy into that. And these articles that you are reading, these articles, the series of 12 articles, that's what I'm focusing on. Focus on profitability. Sales were never important to me in business. Profitable sales were important to me in business. Number 2, be relentless in your pursuit with a laser-sharp focus. I'm sure as counselors you have come across people who say, oh yeah, I've run these 3 businesses, just in case one doesn't work, then I have the second one. Or that doesn't work, I have the third one. Or I have a job and then I have a business going on. Yeah, sometimes it's important to keep the finances. But from personal experience, I have a friend who's had a job and then he started business. He said, yeah, I'm starting business so I can transition, I can slowly phase out my job and then fully come into business. But that never materialized for him. So when somebody comes to me, they want to start a business or they're in business, I always ask them, is this a hobby or is it your full-time business? Until you give you 100% into it, you cannot be successful. And a lot of people say, oh, let's just work smart, not hard. I don't buy into that. To me, there's no substitute for hard work. And hard work is not just 9 to 5. If somebody wants to work 9 to 5, they should be starting their business. There were days in the last 26 years, I would be working till 8, 9, 10 p.m. My wife would bring food to the office, my dinner. She would bring children to the office. They are crawling and they're doing their work and their drawings and all that. That's fine. We were there till 9, 10 p.m. So starting a business, running a business successfully and profitably is a lot of hard work. And again, all these things that I'm sharing with you, if a lot of people would sometime in the past, one of the guys said, Oh, my business is running fine. Why do I need to work so hard? Yes, doing okay. If that's okay with you, you're fine. But I don't want to be just okay. That's my thing. I don't want to be okay. I don't want to be average. So if somebody doesn't agree with me, that's fine. You know, to me, working hard and working harder than others, that's where I ran my business, ran my life. Second point in that is, we are talking about the same part, be relentless in your pursuit, is getting out of your comfort zone. I'm going to share a story of a client who I've been mentoring at SCORE. This person, let's call her Barb, she moved from New York. She's in Ohio now. And she was a stay-home mom for years. She has a lot of emotional, mental issues. She fights anxiety and depression. She has been fighting anxiety and depression for years. She was always afraid to go in public. Her desire, her hobby, her passion was baking. So she used to bake cookies, cakes, muffins, and for her children's birthdays, her children's friends' birthday parties, and take to school and do sporting events. As children grew up, she thought, I have great talent in baking, I want to start a business. So she started a business last year. About a year later, when she looked at her numbers, she was doing very poorly. So then she contacted SCORE and said, "I need some help." So I was assigned her mentor. So about 5-6 months back, I started talking to her. As I learned her life, her situation, her anxiety, her business challenges that she's facing, I said, let's make a 2-month plan. So let's meet every 2 weeks, and I'm going to give you some suggestions, some tips every session, and let's see where it takes us. So over the 2 months, I think I gave her like 15, 16 ideas what to do. I'm going to share 3 or 4 with you right now. First thing I said, I want you to add your story to your website. I want people to know who you are, where you came from, what you're facing, what you're doing. My thing is people connect with people. People buy from people. People don't buy from companies. If they feel a connection with you, they will be much more open to business. And I said, second thing I want you to do is the place you bank. I said, the next time you go to the bank, I said, take some samples of your dessert that you make. Let them taste it. She said, well, I never go to the bank. What's that? I want you to do that. Third thing I said, go to your local chamber of commerce. I don't want you to become a member yet. Just go to the chamber of commerce. They will let you come for the first 2-3 times at no charge. And I will take some samples here. Some bites or samples of your presentation. Imagine somebody like her never ever went to the chamber of commerce. So I gave her those ideas. And then fourth thing I said, I want you to go door to door, talking to these cafes, these coffee shops, family-owned restaurants, introduce your products. So over the time of 2 months, every week, every 2 weeks, she started doing this. Fast forward to last month. 6 months back, this is the person who couldn't pay her bills. The situation is she can't keep up with her business. She's so busy that she just said, Anoop, I'm asking my husband's help to bake with me and make deliveries for me. So her husband's come home, and in the evening he's doing her deliveries. Last time we had been talking, the conversation was not survival. The conversation was, Anoop, I think I need to get a bigger oven. I said, okay, that you would have money to move out of the house, and be a partner. So now we're talking about financing. So my last conversation I had, I said, I want you to start saving money. I want you to start saving every penny you can, because the time will come sooner than later that you will need
get more equipment, bigger pots, bigger pans, bigger oven, maybe even outside kitchen. Feels good. But somebody who facing all those issues now, the other thing she shared with me, which I was very excited about, she said there was a contest, and she participated in the contest. She won the second prize in candies. In the category of candies, she won the second prize. And then she told me, look, in the week or so, somebody's coming to make a video, some local reporter or somebody. I said, make sure you put a video, put it on your Facebook, let people know. So now, she's a completely different person. There's so much enthusiasm, so much happiness in her voice. And that's what we as counselors, we get to enjoy in their happiness, in their success. Third part is be different. Anybody want to share what the first one was? Let's see how much attention you were paying. What the first thing I said? Exactly, bottom line. Number 2 was be relentless in your pursuit with a laser sharp focus. Exactly. Number 3, be different. The business I ran for 26 years, we were a marketing firm. And we did a lot of print materials, logo merchandise, decorated apparel. In our business, it's a mostly product-based business. I'm sure some of you might have bought, somebody needed mugs, you needed shirts, you needed a brochure, just because of phone call, hey, I need to buy 200 mugs. Or I need to buy 200 bags. And they would just say, okay, send me a logo, we print the logo, and hey, done deal. That's how typically business is done in our industry. The way I did my business, from the very first employee I hired, I didn't hire customer service people. I didn't hire order entry people. I hired graphic designers. Yes, they were more expensive. I had to pay more. But my thinking was different. Over the years, all my employees were graphic designers. Every employee. And the reasoning for that is, the graphic designer would answer the phone. They would take your information, your request, get back to you with ideas of your product that you're looking for. Process your order. Design your artwork, send a proof to you for approval. Once you approve the proof, he or she will send it out for production. And once the order ships, they will notify you of the status, and then it goes into billing. Except for billing, everything else was handled by this graphic designer. In other companies, there were at least 3 to 4 people touching that one project. In my company, one person handled the project from start to finish. Way more efficient, almost 0 errors. And to me, that was the way to do business. But how I found out that it was such a unique and such a different and thing for any company was when the new buyers, the company that bought our company, they said they were so impressed with the way we're running our businesses, our business, that they are trying to implement that in the other divisions that they have. And this is a $125 million company bought our company. But they're learning how we run our business, how our errors are almost 0. And what that translates into loyal customers. So let me ask you this. A lot of you, you mentor small businesses. Have you ever come across a business where they say their advertising expense is 0? Have you ever come across any business? Anybody? So most of businesses have to advertise. You got the name up. You promote. In my business, 26 years, I was in the advertising business, but I myself spent 0. You might not believe it, but that's a fact. Even when I started my business, I had 0 paid advertising. It is word of mouth. I never had a sales and marketing department. I just had a couple of sales people part-time here and there, but I never had a full-fledged sales and marketing department. Any advertising you see, anywhere if you ever see my name, my company name, it used to be AG Print Promo Solutions. If you ever see out anywhere, it was not paid. So, and again, this is because I focused more on customer service. My whole emphasis was I want to be the best at it. Not the largest. A lot of people focus, like I said earlier, I want to be this large of a company. I want to have this many offices. I was never into that. My focus was I want to be the best at what I do. And this is what I tell my customers. Now this lady I'm talking about, I told her, I said, Barb, now you're busy. I said, listen very carefully. I know you cannot keep up with the business. I said, what got you here is your quality of your product and your customer service. I've seen a lot of restaurants, they start going down because when they start reducing the quality of their product or their customer service. I said, no matter how busy you get, I would say stop taking orders if you cannot handle up to beyond a certain point, but do not let your quality or customer service come down at all. That is I repeated that twice in my conversation. I said, make sure you do not do that. Because that's one mistake a lot of businesses make. Now, talking about being different, when I was in our business, a lot of people push products, they push prices. They put, I'm sure you got an email about, oh, buy this mug, this is on sale right now, or buy this bag, this is on sale right now. That's something I never did. So my advice to my clients always is don't set price. Just 2-3 weeks back, I had a client who was saying, Anu, how do I price this thing? How do I price my product? I don't want to be too high and lose business. So a lot of people struggle with how to price their product. But do not follow the trap of thinking, oh, if I have the lowest price, or they say I'm the cheapest price. The word cheap was banned in my company. I do not like that word. My employees, if anybody said cheap, I'm like, no. You need to fix the language first. There's nothing called cheap. If you want to use the word, use a positive word. Cheap is a negative word for me. Oh, you can get a better price for this. Or if they would call a supplier, or they would talk to a customer, don't use the word cheap. Better price. What make a difference? So, when you talk to your clients, that's one thing. They focus on what makes them different, not try to be the lowest price company, lowest price, because that will not get them anywhere. It's eats into your bottom line. Number 4, quality is more important than quantity. Quality without quantity doesn't mean anything to me. I'm sure when you go to networking, you see people around you, you go to chambers of commerce, you go to other networking groups. What are people doing? Their goal is, I want to meet as many people as I can. I want to collect business cards. They come back with a stack of business cards, and they feel more business cards they collect, better the meeting went, better the networking event went. To me, networking is if you meet quality. You meet 20 people, but none of them is your potential customer. You need to focus on the type of clients, type of customers you're looking for, and make meaningful conversation, meaningful connection at networking events. And come back with, even if you come back with 2 quality prospects, that's better than getting 25 business. So focus on quality versus quantity. Number of customers. A lot of people feel more customers they have, better it is. They're focused on the number of customers rather than the quality of customers. Who wants to share with who do you call a quality customer? Anybody? Repeat customer, okay. That's very important. Somebody who pays your bill. Yes. Who else?
Someone's not a drag on resources.
That's right. That's right. Because we are a small business. We have limited time, limited resources. Yep. Who else? Who's a quality customer?
Somebody who's making money.
Exactly. That's when they can pay you.
Somebody who has discussions with you about what they are looking for and what you can deliver. So clear understanding of specifications and requirements.
Exactly. Yes.
An investment mindset over an expense mindset.
That's very true. But I'll tell you here, a lot of time we as business owners, the word we use, we talk about price, and same thing, we take them in the wrong direction. So what you said is very correct, because it's an investment. Like you do websites, it's an investment. It's not an expense. If it's done right, it should be an investment. Any expense, any way you spend money, it's like you need a furnace for your office. It should be an investment, because good quality furnace will work for a longer time. So that's very true, that it should be an investment, not an expense. And what you just said also is very correct. So somebody who values your time, somebody who wants to treat you as a valued partner, not just another supplier. And that's where comes the communication. Somebody wants to open up to you. But then again, I said, we as salespeople, we have to make sure we talk in a way, we present us in a way that makes them open up. But a good customer, a good quality customer is somebody who values our time, treats us as a valued partner, not just another supplier. Somebody who can pay their bills, and we don't have to spend weeks chasing them, harassing them for money. So focus on quality customers. And I'm not saying just have a few customers and put all the eggs in one basket. You need to diversify. So don't look for number of customers, look for quality of customers who you enjoy working with. Size and name of the customer. Sometimes we feel like, if I work with a large company like Coca-Cola or Pepsi-Cola or Huntington Bank or PNC, maybe it's more prestigious. Yeah, when I started my business, I used to feel that. But with time, learn. Doesn't matter, you work in a large company, small company, it all depends on how much you enjoy, how much you value. Over here, I'm going to also share a situation, a real situation as a store counselor. I had I think that was last year, I had this client out of Michigan. She was in business for 30 plus years. She did paintings and drawings and other memorabilia she used to make. And she was very successful. And when the request came through the email, her goal was that she wanted to work with large corporations. And she named specifically two. She wanted to work with Target, Walmart, and two other companies which were in the painting industry. So as I saw that, called her, talked to her, I said, tell me more about what you're looking for. So she said, this is what her goal is, to work with large corporations. I'm like, why? Give me a reason. She said, look, it's not for name and fame. I've been doing this business for 30 plus years now. I work with a lot of local customers, but people don't know me. I don't have a national name recognition. If I work with a large company like Target, I will be on the national map. So name, fame, and prestige, that's what she was thinking. So I asked her a few questions. I said, do you feel if you work with large companies, they will value you as much as you value them? Will it be less stressful or more stressful than what you're doing right now, work with small businesses? Right now you get to work with your husband and your daughter, and once you have this large account, you will probably have to move up. I'm ready for that. Will they consider you as a true partner, like your other small business customers? She was quiet for a second. She said, let me think about it. And what you just said, very good point. So let's meet next week. So following week, I called her. She said, thank you so much for bringing those up to me. She said, all this time, whoever I've talked to, nobody ever brought up these points to me. And I used to think that I need to be this big. And after our conversation, I got to thinking, why? Why do I really need to? I'm 60 plus. Do I really need those headaches that a large company would put on me? I shared with her that when I had my own business, there was I think Walmart or somebody came in to the local event, and they wanted to express interest in business with small businesses. no desire. Because to them, you are just a small supplier. You can easily replace. You want to work with businesses, like I said earlier, who value you, who treat you as a true partner. That's where the fun is. Otherwise, just within the drag. So my conversation with her shifted to like how she can grow her business with the clients that she had, maybe diversifying in different industries. So big names don't necessarily mean more prestige, but you have to see all the headaches that come with it. And that's one thing that I've come up with in clients, that they have their priorities not in the right space, where they feel they need to do something to be that name and fame, and don't think of all the situations that may arise as a result of it. Number 5, always take the tougher route. Try convincing somebody when to make a difficult choice, to something that requires them to work harder. Like I said earlier, I don't work hard. I try to work harder than the competition. I try to make life potentially more difficult for myself. I've always taken the difficult route, because to me that brings better result, bring more positive result. And even if it doesn't, I feel that builds my self-confidence. If I can handle this situation, I can handle other situations that might come up. About 15 years back, there was a bid that came out from a local university. There was a 5-year contract. And so I had never bid on that kind of large contract. It was a very thick packet. There were like 35, 40 questions. And I learned that some of my competition, they had certain departments who were just specializing in putting the bids together. And some even have hired outside companies to put those bids, write the answers to the questions. I could have done that. But my answer was, if I don't learn, I will never be able to take on these kind of tasks. So I did the bid myself. With a 5-year contract. Did I win it? No, I didn't. Now, but that doesn't mean I should double guess myself. A year or two later, another university bid came out, which was even a bigger contract. Learning from my mistakes in the first, and the feedback from the purchasing manager from the university, I worked on this bid. It was almost double or time and a half of the other one. Did I win this one? Yes, I did. If I had not worked on the first bid, I would have never gotten the confidence to win the second one. So again, as we counsel small businesses, sometimes there might be tasks where they don't feel comfortable, but sometimes we have to just nudge them and kind of guide them. As to say, we are here to support you. If you fall, we are here to help you. A lot of times they feel like they cannot do the certain task, but they don't have the finances to get outside.
Can you interrupt you for a second?
Yeah.
We have a couple people who have to go at a certain point in time.
Okay.
And if you want to just do another like few minutes with some questions.
Okay.
before the next time.
Definitely. So the last point is have a formidable support system. What I mean by support system, your family, your children, your extended family. I was the face of the business, but I did a lot of the sales and marketing, business management. But Anju, my wife, handled all the accounting and finance, taxes, and operations of the business. Without her help, I could not achieve what I achieved. She not only handled the business, she took care of the children, took care of a lot of other responsibilities that I didn't have time for. So if you have the support system of people around you, it could be your spouse, it could be your children, it could be your parents, it could be your extended family, cousins, aunts, anybody who's there to help you, assist you, it makes that much easier. easier for you. Because being an entrepreneur is not easy. Somebody gets very lonely, I think. So if you have a support system of your family members, that's a big deal. Thank you.
That's one of the first things I ask people when they call us is, who's helping you? Who's on your team? Are you doing this by yourself? Do you have, is this a team thing? Who's going to work with you while you do this? Just, a lot of them don't have that. It gets us thinking about it.
Yep. Other questions? Yes.
You talked about not having a marketing budget, and also other strategies that you use, quality and other things. How do you think you allocated your time as far as marketing was concerned? What were the key things you did?
When it came to marketing, again, talking about being different, I took that point out because of the time constraint. In my business, the two main departments I used to work with was marketing and HR. HR people would buy my products for employee incentives and onboarding and employee retention, things like that. And marketing people would definitely trade shows and sales meetings and everything. On the weekends, when everybody's, I never found competition when I was doing this. I used to go to trade shows. I used to meet face to face these people who are the actual buyers of my products. I used to go to attend job fairs, not looking for a job, but to meet the HR people. But they are the decision makers. And I never, in 26 years, never found my competition ever, not even one time. So again, like I said, I made my life tougher. Weekends, a lot of people say, oh, I want to go golfing, or I want to stay home with my family. I work because it didn't cost anything.
Well, it did cost your time, but
Obviously, yeah,
your time was free because you looked at it.
I mean, I could be.
But you spent a considerable amount of time on it that you could have had somebody else do it less confidently, probably. But you spent a lot of. In actuality, you did spend a lot of time on it.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't. Obviously, but the thing is, when you don't have much business, you have time.
Yeah.
Now, for example, when I first started the business, I had time, but I didn't have any money. There's a supplier in Erie, Pennsylvania, where I used to buy mugs from, and there was an order one time. I had an order for like almost 1,000 mugs. I could have had to ship UPS, and UPS would have cost me $600-700. I went to Erie, Pennsylvania, and picked up those mugs to deliver to the customer and pocketed that money. That's my profit. Again, yes, you have to obviously, you don't want to be just working in the business, you have to work on the business. But there's some things that that you can do well, and those connections that I made over the weekends with the clients, that was my foundation of I started into the senior healthcare, and it was because of those trade shows. So I hope I answered your question.
No, that's a question.
And if you were saying to me that you grew up in a family of entrepreneurs, how much of that rubbed off on you and inspired you to do the work you do?
My dad is 80 plus. He still works. He still leaves home at 8 o'clock. Comes home at 9 o'clock. That's the kind of family I grew up in. When I was a little boy, my dad used to take me to his business. I used to watch him do. My grandfather was working my business that I come from, my family back in India, they're fourth generation. The business that my brothers are running right now was started by my great-grandfather. It passed down to my grandfather, to my father, to my two brothers. So I come from that family background. So when somebody says 9 to 5, that didn't make any sense to me because I'm used to working till 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
Anoop, we're running out of time, and I didn't want to lose the opportunity to brainstorm with the group about opportunities for you. Anybody see some venues or areas that this story might be successful in? Or I think about it and let me know, and we can get back to Anoop on some possibilities for him.
I like the idea of going to trade shows. That's a great idea that we could use for some of our clients who don't have marketing budgets, they don't have full money, they're working with nothing, but to like get out there and put the time in to get out there and just market themselves directly to people where their customers are. That's a great idea.
Definitely. And the article that I passed, one of the articles I wrote is on how to market your business with a shoestring budget or zero budget. Because I never paid money for advertising or marketing, but I believed in PR. So I had a lot of, there are several articles, you know, like in Beacon Journal, there have been like 4 or 5 articles in Beacon Journal and Plain Dealer, and even several publications that came, again, free. But I wrote a lot of press releases. Yes, that's time invested. But I didn't pay any money for any advertising, because when third party writes on your behalf, that's an endorsement. When a third party endorses you, that's much more powerful than me saying how good I am.
We did a lot of trade shows because we were looking for customers. But we found that you're there and have a booth, it's expensive. By day 2.5, we're exhausted. Then we created positions and said, well, we'll go, but we're going to go just to walk around. So that worked out well because you spend 3 or 4 hours, see the people you want to see, and you don't have to worry about the other people. Plus, it doesn't cost anything. So I have a mixed feeling about trade shows. It wasn't all effective for us. It was just back exhausted. But if you go to walk around, that works out nicely. You see Ted's company, everybody else is doing.
Well, I'll ask one more question. What social media did you find most effective in developing your?
I did not do much social media. To me, see, when somebody else writes on your behalf, somebody else endorses you, like even my business, I have not advertised my new consulting business. I'm counting on word of mouth. I'm counting on people talking, hey, bring Anup as a speaker because he's a good speaker. He has some good ideas. Whether it works or doesn't work, time will tell.
But your cookie client, you suggested she tell her personal story.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Right. I have a website.
Is it different though now than when you developed your company?
But yeah, social media didn't exist.
Social media didn't.
Social media was not that big of a
I'm
deal.
just wondering how you brought that into your current thinking.
Social media, I was on LinkedIn. I was never, see the thing is, like I said earlier, in my type of business, I've seen my competitors. They go on Facebook and Instagram, what they're doing is, they're putting products like, oh, buy this mug, it's on sale. Buy this thing on sale. I hated that. I never ever liked that part because you're focusing on price. And I never wanted to do that. So I was on LinkedIn, but I never ever promoted my business like buy this mug or buy this shirt or buy this thing. Any LinkedIn posting I did, it was knowledge, like, okay, I'm gonna give you ideas on marketing. I'm gonna give you ideas on branding. Even now, if you look at my LinkedIn, I just posted 3 articles on branding on LinkedIn. I never said hire me as a speaker. No. I just, for some reason, I just don't like that. I want other people to talk about me rather than me talking about myself. Same thing, my business. Several articles published in Plain Dealer, the Beacon Journal, and other publication. When third party does it, it's much more powerful. It's word of mouth, and it's free. And that's what you will see in my article that I wrote, on the article that I passed, that how to market at with no budget.
Anup, thank you very much. We appreciate it.